Hey, it's Thursday. Hey, it's Thursday. What's up, y'all? It's Thursday. How you living? We are on day 3 of a presidency. And boy, have we got so many changes. It's not shocking at all because he's doing everything he said he was gonna do. I just want to see what happens with all this stuff. Nothing really major changed for me. But yeah. I mean, we've been paying high grocery costs. We've been worrying if we're going to have Social Security. We've been, all these things that are happening, and a lot of the foreshadowing that has happened, we kind of knew it was coming. We were warned that it was coming. So, yeah. It's a lot. What did I do today? Nothing too spectacular. Worked out at home. Did a little laundry. Nothing too great, and just read the news, just laugh and pray. You're going to be having them pray over their food now that they recalling the FDA and CDC. Oh yeah, you better be praying every time you eat, baby, because you ain't going to know what you're putting in your mouth, okay? Let's get into the news. Unredacted affidavit contains a previously unreported allegation about P. Hegsa's behavior toward his second wife. Hegsa has denied all allegations in the affidavit, which was written by his former sister-in-law. A former truck driver has been convicted of unaliving a third woman in Indiana and is charged or suspected in additional unalivings in other states. Man, he looks like the guy from Big Sky, which was a show about a truck driver that was doing just this. He looked like, if you seen him roll up on you, you should be afraid. Reverend Marianne Boudet, the Episcopal Bishop of Washington, defends a plea for mercy she made to President Trump on behalf of immigrants and others during an inaugural prayer service. Speaker Johnson announces the creation of a select subcommittee to investigate events before and after January 6, 2021. How many more committees do y'all still need in regards to this? I mean, I know Trump is... He wants his vengeance back on that. He wants revenge. Nancy Lieutenant Colin, the first black woman to join the U.S. Army Nurse Corps after military was desegregated in the 1940s, has passed away at 104. Nancy, you stayed to the end, girl. Wow. The discrepancy between West and East Altadena is spurring questions among local officials and residents about the timing of emergency alerts and whether earlier warnings might have saved lives. President Trump picks Research Center founder L. Brent Bozell III, who wrote a letter on behalf of his son, a convicted January 6th writer who assaulted law enforcement during the Capitol riot, to run the U.S. Agency for Global Media. The jobs he's giving people. Elon Musk claims that tech giants OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank don't have enough money to fulfill their high-profile pledge to invest $500 billion in U.S. AI infrastructure hours after President Trump unveiled. Elon, he wants to do it all, honey. He don't want nobody else doing nothing tech-wise but him. President Trump this week revoked an executive order aimed at banning discrimination by federal contractors and subcontractors as part of his sweeping effort to crack down on federal diversity programs. A protest movement has erupted across Reddit, where dozens of subreddits banned X links to protest Elon Musk. Federal employees received emails Wednesday warning that they could face repercussions if they did not report on coworkers who work in diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility positions that might have gone unnoticed by government supervisors. My thing is, I wonder how many of these corporate companies are going to follow suit, because a lot of these companies, they swear they for diversity and inclusion. We gonna see. We already seen like Amazon and Walmart and other companies kind of rolling back there. So I'm curious to see how many people are going to follow suit, especially the ones that swore they were so inclusive. Especially when Pride Month comes around. I'm just watching the show. YouTuber Mr. Beast, ex-owner Elon Musk, and Oracle chairman Larry Ellison are names that have floated around in the past as potential American buyers for TikTok. When a Black America Great Again had Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio was greeted by his family, friends, and crush of reporters after he landed in Miami. This Mob Wives lady that was missing, she's found safe. Signs of remorse in short supply among Capitol riot defendants who were pardoned. Of course, they're not remorseful. The White House website no longer has a Spanish language version. It has removed a disclaimer promising to make it accessible to people with disabilities, and a number of federal agencies have removed web pages related to reproductive rights and diversity. President Trump, acting secretary for the Department of Health and Human Services, has instructed heads of all federal health agencies to temporarily stop public communications pending a review by president employee appointee. Gosh, we'll never know about that, the next, monkeypox or whatever, because we won't know. Buffalo Bills fans have banded together to jump to support of an opposing player after he was subjected to a wave of online hate. They raised over $80,000 for diabetes. Legal experts warn that those whose parents are on work and student visas won't be exempt from the implications of President Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship. On his third day in office, President Trump signed more executive orders aimed at shutting down the southern border, but the details on how migrants will be blocked from crossing the border remain unclear. Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan are teasing a long-awaited screen reunion with a mysterious Instagram post. Not now, you two. We got too much going on. Faith leaders and teachers in Chicago say they'll fight to protect their communities after the Trump administration said it will end policy that prevented federal immigration authorities from arresting migrants in churches, schools, and hospitals. Netflix is raising their price. They better raise the movies. Actor Cheryl Hines of Curb Your Enthusiasm fame has agreed to cease sales of her cosmetic company's inventory if her husband, Robert F. Kennedy, becomes the next Secretary of Health. You know, what was that dude? What's that dude's name on Curb? Larry. Larry was right about her. Everything he said about her, he was right. House passes a strict immigration detention measure named for Georgia nursing school student Laken Riley, who was unalived by undocumented immigrant. The legislation aimed at clamping down on people in the U.S. illegally who commit nonviolent crimes and theft. House votes 263 to 56 to pass the Laken Riley Act. The mom who pleaded guilty to running an organized retail crime ring that stole millions of dollars in beauty products from Ulta Beauty and Sephora to resell on Amazon will now have to pay those retailers back as part of her sentence. Now, where's she going to get that money from? Jewelry designer Lynn Band, who starred in the Netflix series Bling Empire New York, has passed away weeks after she underwent emergency brain surgery due to a skiing accident. So sad. Evacuation orders have been issued, and a part of a major interstate was closed after a fast-moving wildfire ignited near a community in northern Los Angeles County and scorched more than 5,000 acres. An escalating share of credit card holders are only making minimum payments on their bills, according to the Philadelphia Federal Reserve report. No duh. The rich are getting richer. The combined wealth of the world's most wealthy rose to $15 trillion from $13 trillion in just 12 months, according to Oxfam's latest annual inequality report. Two officials who worked on Trump's transition said the decision to do a sweeping pardon was made just days before the inauguration. A proposal to ban formaldehyde in hair straightening products is in limbo after President Trump signed an executive order pausing all federal regulations. Studies have linked formaldehyde to cancers that are specifically prevalent in young black women. You know, people gonna still use that creamy crack even if it had any kind of warning on it. The trial for 3 men, prosecutors say, facilitated drugging and robbery that terrorized New York City's gay bars and led to 2 unalivements began Wednesday. One student is unalived and another is hospitalized with a pew-pew wound following a school pew-pewing in Nashville High School cafeteria. Representative Sarah McBride, the first openly transgender member of Congress, says President Trump's executive order targeting transgender people is not what Americans want, and that actions taken as a result could have real consequences for people. And then I saw that Johnson & Johnson just unveiled some nasal spray for depression, and they said that is not going to be great for kids. More than 2,400 aid trucks have entered Gaza Strip since the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas took effect, according to the United Nations. All refugee flights of the State Department into the U.S. have been halted under direction of President Trump's executive order. Advocates say this leaves refugees who are already in transit to the U.S. at risk, stranded in intermediate countries. All right, y'all. Yeah, Trump is signing and doing a lot, but we knew it was coming. Let's see what I liked on here.
Anything wrong? Well, Sue Ellen, it's not a top. It's a bra. Oh, I know. Thanks again.
God, Kramer, is that woman just wearing a bra?
Listen, when I saw this lady, I think her name is Lauren Sanchez, at the thing, I literally thought about that Seinfeld episode. Trump suggests possible prosecuting for Biden.
This guy went around giving everybody pardons. And you know, the funny thing, maybe the sad thing, is he didn't give himself a pardon. And if you look at it, it all had to do with him.
What's your name? Hey, Travis, I'm Mojo. Who you with, Travis? Who is Stacy? That's your girlfriend. Okay, and how long y'all been together?
12 days.
Oh, this new. How?
12 days.
How new is it? 2 months. Okay.
I'll be here for my birthday.
Happy birthday. Well, I want to help you out a little bit. So it's been 2 months. All right. She give you a little ass yet or not? No? I know you fucking lying. Oh, it's your birthday. You coming up off something tonight. Travis, what's the plans after this? You going home? With who? You been over there spending the night not getting none? She's going home with you. Okay. So you got your spend the night bag already? You gonna get one. Okay. So what's the plans? You gonna give my boy a little bit? He ready. Huh? He's ready?
When he's ready.
You ready, Travis? Travis, come here. Come here, Travis. Come here, Travis. Show your ass up here. Come here. Come around that way, Travis. Got me fucked up. I appreciate you coming out. Travis, you done brought her out on a nice date. You done brought her to see one of the hottest comedians in the country right now.
Right.
So I'm gonna tell you right now. You did your motherfucking part, Travis, but right now you gotta seal the deal. You know what I need you to do? I want you to look her right in her eyes right now, and I want you to say, I want some of that pussy tonight.
some of that pussy tonight.
Travis! 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 Hey, Pittsburgh, I've been Mojo Brooks, man. Y'all been.
Mojo gonna get Travis in trouble. So this guy was drunk and drinking at a brewery in the airport. I don't know what he had to drink, but it was wild. Let's see what else. I didn't mean to laugh at that, y'all, but that was crazy. Did y'all see it was snowing in Destin earlier? It was literally snowing. People was just running and sliding into the ocean. It was wild. Bruno Mars teases a song with Sexy the Red. Walgreens admits locking up shampoos and toothpaste hurts sales. Let it out. Because I know me. If it's locked up, I'll just order on Amazon. I don't have time. When I need extra toothbrushes and all that, I'm not waiting on you to come with the key. I would just order it on Amazon. You go out to dinner with your friends. The bill is $7.50. The service was exceptional. How much do you tip? Whatever the percentage is. They have all this percentage. Somebody said the standard is 20%, would be $15. I personally leave 20. Lots of people are saying 20. Yeah, the service was great. Drop a 20. ICE arrested 308 illegal immigrants on Trump's first full day in office. Diddy sues accuser Courtney Burgess and lawyer Ariel Mitchell for defamation. Rapper Lil Boosie is asking Trump to help look at his case. Donald Trump tells Putin to end the Ukraine war now. We can do it the easy way or the hard way. Sure, we know y'all friends, so. The Heat plans to suspend Jimmy Butler for 2 games after missing the team flight. Jimmy going through it with the Heat. Happy birthday, DJ Jazzy Jeff. Jets hire former player Aaron Glenn as head coach. Alright, let's see what else we got. Somebody tried to put Worcestershire sauce and put Worcestershire sauce. 340-pound foster mother sentenced to prison for sitting on her 10-year-old foster child, causing his unalivement. That was crazy. One of the Capitol rioters that was pardoned was rearrested the next day on federal weapons charges. Yeah, that's the thing. Some of them were talking about going to go buy them a pew-pew, and you can't do that once you've been a felon, once you're a felon. Probably not too smart about that. Abbott Elementary is renewed for season 5. Y'all better start praying over y'all food. Alright, I said I'm not going to keep going to all them sites because they all have the same news, so that was good enough for me. Let's see what Reddy got going on. My husband swears my podcasts are too short, which I don't know how he says that, but how much does the man want me to read? People who have been in sexless marriages but cannot divorce, how do you cope? Where to start? My wife had a stroke. Wife cheated on me, but she has had severe brain injury. If I divorce, the state will make me support her due to disability. I get financially screwed even more so. In the end, it would strip my son of having a decent financial stable future. I'll go through hell for him. Dang, that's a freaking rock and a hard place. I thought I couldn't divorce. Turns out I could. The issues are deeper than just sexless. A lot of times I go to sleep hoping that I don't. Well, that's sad. Can't read the rest of that. I'm chronically ill and have most of my reproductive system removed. I've actually told my husband to go out and get laid, hire someone, and he's horrified at the thought. We'll be married 20 years this year. If you love someone, you can make it work. He's a better man than any other I can imagine. When he said sickness and health and good and bad, he meant it. I've been with my husband 16 years and it's been 10 years without sex. I've accepted it. We have a happy, somewhat fulfilled life, 2 great kids. We are financially doing great and travel a lot as a family. We have a lot of respect for one another. He's on the spectrum and has never been comfortable with physical contact or meaningful interaction. I've supported friends' hobbies and keep me busy, and I work full time. I adore his family and he's genuinely a really funny guy. When it's just us, he's just awkward around others. But yeah, I do get lonely sometimes. A hug would be nice. Man, she a soldier in the Lord's army. 'Cause ain't no way. The first couple of years, marriage was normal, but then wife started complaining about pain. Sex got scarcer and scarcer. We wanted to do it, but penetration was visibly painful for her. A few years and many visits to gynecologists, her doctor finally identified a uterus problem that could turn into cancer. Basically, she had a uterus of a 70-year-old woman, and a hysterectomy had to be performed. After she recovered, the pain was gone, but now it was a me problem. The abstinence and the pain had caused her had unforeseen side effect on me, and I developed somewhat of erectile dysfunction. The equipment is fine but fails miserably even with chemical help with her. We're working on it somehow, but it's almost a year. Wow. Honestly, it's interesting how unimportant anything can become. When my spouse stopped showing any affection to me, I thought it was the end of the world. I agreed that for years. Now it doesn't even register on the less important things. Going home to an empty house would be bliss right now. Being able to have a conversation without it being a thing would be so relaxing. The only thing worse than being alone is being with someone who makes you feel alone. These are sad. These are really sad. I was in a sexless marriage for 7 years, well, 7 years total, and 6 years sexless. At the end, I touched, starved sexually, and it took a very big toll on my self-esteem. That and many other things as a relationship was quite toxic. But I learned one thing from this relationship, and it's that sex and sexual connection with my partner is very important to me, very, very important. Years after divorce, I heard something that really hit home. Sex in a relationship is a lot like a bathroom in your home. It's not the important thing, but when it's not available, it becomes pretty important. Hey, you gotta end it on that, because that's true. What will you never ever do again in your lifetime? Probably not get married. If something happened to my husband, I'm done with marriage. I am. They say never get married, but I'm good. And I ain't having no more kids either. No. I can't anyway, but if it was an option, I wouldn't. Never again will I try to cut my own bangs at 2 a.m. It was chaotic mix of overconfidence and pure regret. Took months to grow them out, and I looked like I lost a fight with a lawnmower. I never again jump into a close relationship with a person without clearly assessing that person. Hug my mom, lost her last week. I'm not that old and have a long way to go unless something happens hard to think about. Where did I begin? I'm 69 years old. I pick up my children at elementary school, teach my son how to hit a home run in Little League, make a dollhouse for my daughter that looks just like our real house, tell my parents how much I love them, climb Mount Washington and spend the weekend at Hermit Lake in January, run 4 miles every afternoon, dive off my boat into the ocean and swim to the dock, fall in love. You're 69, man. You still got time to do this stuff. Drink alcohol 600 days is Tuesday. Good for you. Make a call with a rotary dial phone. Have a sleepover with my grandma. It was our favorite tradition when I was younger, but as I get older and busier, we didn't do it. She passed away last week, and I wish badly I can go back and cancel every plan. I used to love sleeping over my grandma's house too, even though she made me get up and go to church, but I used to just love being over her house. It's just something about being under your grandma. It's just peaceful, and just they make you calm down. Like whatever. Whenever I was around my grandma, I never felt no anxiety or stress, man. Like, she just had this calming way about her, man. Dancy's guilty feet have got no rhythm. Getting married once and done. Menstruate, man, I can't wait to that day. Cry my eyes out over a stupid guy. People please. Try to fix a man or lead him to be better. I'm done with sex work. That part of my life is behind me. Somebody said meth. Praise God. Ignore my intuition. You say that, but everybody be ignoring it, and then they'll be like, I knew I shouldn't have did that. Married people, what's the one advice you wish you could give single people who want to get married? I mean, communication is key, but you also have to have somebody you can just do absolutely nothing with and still be content. Like, if you get in one of them, like, thrill-seeking marriages where it's like, we gotta be doing something all the time. Every weekend has to be fun. I mean, yes, you should date your partner forever, and you should do things, but life will become mundane and boring. And as long as you're happy being bored with that person, that is key to me in getting through with that. But communication is definitely key. Make sure that when you do talk to each other, it's the kind of way you would want somebody to talk to you. You have to be very mindful of that, because that can be tricky. Treat it as the most important decision in your life. Think about the absolute worst day of your life. Is that who you trust fully to be there for you? Do you trust their discretion to make medical decisions for you? Very important. Marry someone you genuinely like or who is your friend. Looks can fade and sex is only part of your relationship. But if you marry someone you truly like, you can get through anything. Make sure they have compatible sense of humor. You will drive each other crazy without it. Assume good intent. It will save you from a number of needless arguments. That's very important, because if you realize the person that is giving you advice, which spouses give each other unsolicited advice, I'm guilty of it, my husband is, but if you know it's coming from a good place and it's not annoying you, then, because your spouse can give you some unsolicited advice. People can change a lot with no warning. Always date your spouse. Love each other every day and don't become enemies. Be on the same side. Yeah, y'all are for the same team. So every decision you make, it doesn't work if you're on opposing teams. So whatever decision or whatever happens, it has to be, you have to think about your spouse always. As others have said, you're on a team. Nearly all conflict stems from unmet expectations. An important question to ask is it realistic? Is it communicated? And is it agreed upon? Create a safe space where you're able to discuss things openly without judgment and affirm that you have each other's back. Yep. Yep, these are all good advice. This is all good advice. Single people, what's keeping you single? How's single life going? I'm not looking for anyone and no one is looking for me, so that's pretty much it. Relationship takes a level of compromise that I have no interest in. A combination of not liking using dating apps, not actively seeking it, and not being bothered by my own company. It's peaceful. My complete and total lack of social skills. Honestly, I don't put a ton of effort in not being single. I think more people should be willing to admit that. I work full time and go to school part time after work, so not a lot of free time there and that I'm willing to spend on first dates and small talk. Even without that, I hate dating apps and find them awkward. That being said, I like my life. I'm sure it would be nice to do it with a partner, but I'm not gonna pass away without companionship. I am far more afraid of being with the wrong person than being single. I value my peace and solitude. I do what I want when I want. No arguments. Things are where I left them. And yeah. Somebody said observing married people free to be. Basically terrified to start dating. Sometimes I think dating might be nice, and I think about meeting someone, learning about them, having to explain myself to them, and then it goes well, having them around all the time, meeting their friends, family, going out, and etc. And then I just get tired. Baby, that's a relationship, period. See if there's anything interesting on Am I the A-hole? Am I the a-hole for if I kick out my husband? I'm 46 and my husband's 51. We've been together for 22 years. He's been a wonderful husband lately. I've noticed that he's been secretive while texting, and when I ask him who's he texting, he yells at me and that I'm suspicious and I'm crazy. I woke up in the middle of the night and saw his phone, so I looked through it. I found he was messaging a 25-year-old woman asking for videos and pics, he said, and he loved her. I found that he was on another social media that I didn't know about, that he was sending DMs to multiple women. I turned my feelings off, got up, and started folding his clothes from the closet. When he came out, he looked confused. I showed him his phone, and he started panicking. I read some of the messages to him, and he started yelling at me that I'm insecure, that it's just flirting, that I don't understand him. He hasn't worked for 15 years. I've been the one providing. Girl, that's all you had to lead with. You should have kicked him out then, honey. I don't need to read no more. He ain't worked for 15 years and you... This one I don't like reading Am I the A-hole because they get on my nerves. Alright, y'all. Let's get into these story times. This was so funny.
Do you eat your chicken cutlet with lemon? Or do you eat your chicken cutlet with Italian dressing? Or do you eat it with ketchup? Or do you eat it with barbecue sauce? Last, do you eat it with hot sauce? My personal fave is Italian dressing or lemon. When I was younger, ketchup. Also, eating it with your salad. And here's what my plate and my family's plate looks for dinner. So I was having chicken cutlets, some french fries, and...
Only reason I say these videos because the comments was in agreement with me. Somebody said I eat it not cremated. I eat my chicken cutlet before it's cold. No, I usually don't eat tree bark in general. Somebody said that's a chicken chip. They said, did you air fry for 3 working business days? Somebody said, it's a chicken cutlet in the room. Yeah, somebody said it was a flavored kettle chip. I'm like, girl, how hard did you fry that thing?
Consistency, man. That's the name of the game, bro. Don't get much simpler than that. If you keep going every single day and don't stop, your competition will fall off, bro. These niggas ain't cut like you, bro. They ain't ready for prime time. They ain't trying to really get right. They take days off, this day off, that day off. They lazy. I'm tired of no. Grind every day, one foot in front of the other, bro. And I promise you, I'm gonna be lapping these folks, bro. Give it a year. And watch what happens.
He gonna hurt himself playing around like this.
That's not frozen.
Huh?
That ain't frozen.
That is, bro. I just posted. Oh, that. Oh, look at that.
Oh, the ring is coming at you. It's coming at you.
It's like you out there on a lake.
Oh, it is slippery.
Look at that. Little Rick finally walking on water. Oh, the Rick is coming in.
How many times they tell him that wasn't frozen?
Just walked past that hatch, I started feeling that a bit of stinging on my legs, and I realised I got hit by those hot embers from whatever is cutting in there.
It's like the outdated Flores.
What is that? I'm about to spend 48 hours on what some people call the worst cruise ever. I have a funny suspicion that this security camera no longer works. Looks like the handle's gonna fall off. Hello? Check it in? Yeah.
Right.
This way.
Right over there.
Hiya. Slightly concerned they can't find my booking. It is the 18th today, and that's when I've got this cruise booked. Confirmation on my email is the 18th. 15 minutes later.
Picture time.
You got it? Cool. You get me worried then. So just checked in. I should say this is my first ever cruise, so I'm a little bit excited, nervous, not quite sure what to expect. Once I checked in, I was ushered over to the photo booth, which I declined to have a photo there because I wasn't really interested. So the buffet restaurant is included, and so is breakfast with my price. But I can also choose to do some fine dining in the steakhouse, which is an extra, which I've done for tonight. And there's quite a few packages that you can book online beforehand if you wish. Now, being Margaritaville at sea, drinks is a big thing here, and you can actually order your drinks on board, pay as you go. I was told that the drinks cost between $15 and $18 per drink, with an 8% tip charge added on. So they sell drinks packages which start from about $125. I'm not going to be drinking that much, so I'm going to pay as you go, and we'll see how we get on. So it's cashless on board. You don't need to take a card. All you need is this, and that's your cruise card. Now on here here, it's got a QR code, so I can scan this to see what restaurants, the shows, and everything about the ship. It also acts as my credit card, which is kind of scary, as well as my room key. So if I want to pay for a thing on the ship, I use this card. So I need to be looking after this and take this everywhere with me. It's also got my room number, just in case I forget. So with my room package that I've got, I get to board first, which is about 11 o'clock, which is in about 5 minutes. And all those people with certain rooms have certain places to sit in order to be ready to get on the cruise ship. So it might only be a 48-hour cruise, but there's still excursions to be had, which will probably be tomorrow. Well, that will be the only day. Quite a price. So for example, if I wanted to do the jet ski experience for 2 people, $249.
Because they pick you up and they bring you back and make sure that you are there to catch the ship on time. These are all the activities. The cave is one of the best.
Cave?
Pirates Cave, yes. But so you can take this, look at it, and see what you want to do, and then you can either come back to us or you can board and take flight.
Because the cruise is so short, you kind of want to get on there as soon as possible to experience the ship, because you're just going to have pretty much a little bit this afternoon, and then tomorrow, so squeeze in as much as we can.
We're going to have our special accommodations first, then we'll have our VIPs come out, and then we'll have our express pass holders. Those of you that are remaining, every much have a blue card. Your blue card you have, MS1, MS2, or MS3, and that's how we're going to board you. Because when you board the ship, they're going to swipe your card to security, look at your security card, and then you have access to the ship. The blue card is very important. When you get on board today, you're all going to deck 9 first thing to go to our lunch room. Deck 9. And then we're going to deck 10 for our buffet lunch. So we all board, we're going to one deck first. And then we're going to deck 10 for our perfect ready board. Let's go.
Notepad and a pencil. Now I thought I might have some complimentary water, but the water on here will cost me $4.95. Wow. I could do 6 bottles for $24, which saves me $5.70 or $12. Blimey. Now that looks ultra new. Is this a smart mirror? It's like there's a TV or something in there. Work that out a little bit later. So we've got a sofa that pulls out into a sofa bed. Yeah, the sofa's a little bit worn, a few scratches. I love how the stains are so beautifully coloured. There's one stain there that's yellow. This stain is pink. And this stain is green. Look at that. Paradise awaits. Do have a balcony, I'll show you that in a minute. Nice big TV. I love the compass behind it. That is really nice. Do like that lamp. That is really nice. Lovely big open space. My life jackets are in there. I've got a safe. And also an empty fridge. I don't think that even works. Let me show you the bedroom. Now the first thing I noticed was the rubber sheet around the bed. This is actually quite a nice big room with a huge TV. Again, showing a safety video at the minute. So is there any mattress encasement on here? Let's have a look. No mattress encasement. Let's do the bed test. Oh wow, this is comfy. That's really nice and spongy. Just noticed that on the bed. The Margaritaville parrot, can you see that? Love all the photos. It does get you in the mood for heading out to the Bahamas. Headboard does look a little bit fairly old. Somewhere to do some makeup. A nice big mirror. Little mini chair to sit on as well. That's a bit gross, isn't it? Right next to the bed. Can only imagine what those stains are. Amount of wardrobe space that I've got. These are huge. But yeah, it looks like a pretty good place to come and have a... They still charged me $23 because of taxes and service charge and other taxes. In fact, I've just checked my bill.
Listen, the way my ADD, I can't get into it.
The danger of sex is that we give it away freely without intention, and it corrupts our system. It corrupts our psychology, our sexuality, our spirituality, our relationality. We become obsessed, we become hyper-dependent, codependent with giving giving this part of ourselves away. The danger of sex is that it doesn't come from a healthy place. It comes from promiscuity that is fueled by unresolved and unprocessed trauma. Is that we're mixing energies with people that we don't truly align with. We lack being deliberate. We lack intentionality in our physical intimacy. We lose ourselves, and it becomes about the peak experience, not the process, not the unraveling, not the revealing of self. And this is more than just it being poetic. There is physiological interactions that take place that lock us into another person's being. The constitution of that person is represented by their emotional expression, their psychology, their physiology. It's locked into their physiology, into their nervous systems. Our nervous system intertwine and mix during that deep physical intimate practice. And if we're just giving that away freely without being intentional and deliberate, what is happening to us? What are your thoughts on this?
I agree.
Y'all look at my mother and my stepfather. My stepfather, he goes the fuck off. He been in jail for over 20 years. So look, my mother locked her motherfucking keys in the car. So he comes with the shovel to try to get the car out the snow. The fucking shovel don't work. This motherfucker get the snow out with a broomstick. Don't fuck with him, he been on the yard. So now he out there getting on my mother for locking her keys in the car. And look, she just standing there like a student. She don't fuck with him. She don't fuck with him. Yeah. But my mother, she'll call me gay and sissies, but she won't call that motherfucker snagger-puss. She won't fuck with him though. Yeah, cause that motherfucker loose. That motherfucker loose in the screws in this motherfucking head. Look. She love a convict. It's what you deal with. Now he got it. Now he out there preaching like he on the yard talking to his co-defendant. Look at him. He can't stop preaching. Pasting and preaching about a key. Look, she don't want to hear that shit. She don't want to hear that shit. Mimi don't want to hear that shit. Look at Mimi. Mimi don't want to hear that shit. But you gotta listen. Cause she know that motherfucker's 3 seconds from losing it.
His narration, top of the line. I would watch any show that he was narrating.
Check in where your neck meets the back of your ear. There's a little spot with a little divot, and if you press that, you may notice that's a little bit tender on each side, and I'm going to teach you how to drain it because those are the beginning of your cervical lymph nodes. If you tend to get sore lymphatic or swollen lymph nodes, I'm going to teach you how to drain that toxicity out of there every day in just 30 seconds. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Dr. Diana Joy Ostroff, a naturopathic physician who helps you get well and stay well. If you're interested in being healthy, and that's one of your main values like it is mine, make sure you're following for daily tips. And don't forget to check out our website, Natural Healing Hawaii. The link is in my bio. So take your finger, your index finger, and press into that area and just massage it clockwise or counterclockwise, it doesn't matter, 10 times each direction to start out with this drainage. And then take the pads of your fingers and go tap, 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 tap all the way down on both sides and allow the space to get in between where the lymph channels are going to allow for flow. I recommend doing 3 times on each side. You press it, you circulate, and then you tap, 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 tap. So 3 times on each side. And then take your fingers like this and drain down to the front of your throat to allow all of the mucus that's lodged to drain down into your body. We don't want it to be stuck in our head. That's when we start to get congested and sore throats. The movement down the front of your neck is going to actually stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system to relax. Anytime we stimulate the lymphatic system, we're encouraging the release of toxins. And by stimulating down this vagus nerve area, you're relaxing your sympathetic nervous system and allowing you to relax better. Try it and see what you feel. And one more little tip. When you're going down the cervical chain, do a little hum. Close your eyes and go, I know know it seems strange, but it will help relax your nervous system. Go ahead and try and type in the comments, relax, and stimulate your nervous system to relax right now, every day in the comfort of your own home. Much.
Listen, I started some of that, and I didn't watch the whole video, and it hurt, but I feel like it works. I haven't tried the whole, what did she say, 10 forward, 10 back, but seems like it could be useful. All right, y'all, that is the show. Inspiration is always on the way. We need it.
Before you lay your body down with somebody, ask yourself the question, do I want this individual to be the person who is sponsoring my bloodline? It's not just moaning and groaning, it's the person that you are choosing to establish what's going to remain in your blood and how you're going to build your house. God has a design and he has principles when it comes to sex. Now, here's the crazy thing. Mankind perverts what God originally designed for a living. There are people who are in business and industries and get paid to pervert a God design. Some way, this has infected and affected the followers of Jesus to such a degree to where we don't even see the perversion as pollution to our spiritual growth. Because what hell loves to do is to get us to normalize perversion. Normalize perversion. This conversation that we're having on this afternoon is not to condemn. We don't do that because there is no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. But this conversation is for the purpose of educating us. What is God's thoughts on this? What does God desire about this? Because like I told us last year, being a Christian does not mean you like Christ. Being a Christian means you are Christ-like. And a lot of people are cool with rocking his brand until it's time to live out his teaching. Father, would you cause us to have hearts on this afternoon that are like clay? Fresh clay from a spring or fall shower rain, so that you can mold our hearts and that you can get us to get as close as we can back to the original kingdom agenda. We all messed up. That's why you sent your son. This is not to condemn, but it can be to convict and to recalibrate so that we can correct our living and our lifestyle. God, I know that there are several people under the sound of my voice and who are watching online who have been begging you for deliverance, who've been seeking you to be free from this, and they cannot shake the lust. They cannot shake the desires. I'm praying, God, that you will anoint me as your oracle to break chains for my brother and my sister who have been battling with this in their singleness and even in marriage. Those who are struggling to come together because we have a distorted view of your design and your idea. I'm asking that you do it. In Jesus' name we pray. And everybody who agrees with that prayer would just shout in the room, amen.
Your membership is more than just a card. It's your gateway to
Can I get everybody, let's say this confession together, and everybody watching online, I want you to put this in the room in all caps. Let's say this. Father, open my eyes and make me aware of blind spots. I don't want to make decisions that form cycles. One more time. Father, open my eyes and make me aware of blind spots. I don't want to make decisions that form cycles. If you agree with that, would you put your hands together in the house? I don't want to make decisions that form cycles. Sex is a God design. Therefore, it is a God idea. However, whatever God gives man, the enemy always seeks and attempts to influence us to pervert it. This is why I believe, it's about to get real. This is why I believe one of the tactics of the enemy is to attach great sensuality to counterfeits. Great sensuality to pawns, great sensuality to distractions, great sensuality to life wreckers. It's so good because it's so lethal. It's lethal to your peace department. It's lethal to your covenant. It's lethal to your joy. It's lethal to your destiny. It's lethal to your ministry. Nobody cares, sir, how good you can preach if you have no character. So good because it is so lethal. And so now we become people who can't see things through spirituality. We only see it through sensuality. I can't even see a brother as a brother. Matter of fact, some sisters will get offended if you're a man and call her sis. Because your beard looks good, your body looks good. You don't recognize all the stuff he's battling with. Why? Because we're seeing him through sensuality and not spirituality. The same thing for brothers. We can't even look at women and see them from a spiritual perspective versus a sensual perspective. If more men had a spiritual perspective, we will be able to see the only reason she's that fast is because she's broken. The only reason she's offering her body to me like this is because she needs Jesus. The only reason that she's talking all of this sexual game to me is because she doesn't know who she is in Christ. But instead of us viewing it like that, we view it as an avenue. This is easy. This is going to be a fun time tonight because we see through sensuality and not spirituality, because that is what sex does. It clouds judgment. And whenever your judgment is clouded, your discernment will be crippled. Talk, man. Whenever your judgment is clouded, your discernment will be crippled. So you can't see that this is a devil because of how they make you feel. Sex is a God design, and it is a God idea. However, whenever God gives something to us, the enemy always tries to get mankind to pervert it. And I know that this is true, and I know that this is real, because culture has impacted us so much so to where we are labeling godly principles and godly ethics old school and unrealistic. Pastor, don't nobody do that no more, man. That's old school. Don't nobody do that. And then your girlfriends will start talking to you. Girl, you got to stop with all these unrealistic standards. Now, I broke down standard and preference are different. Standard, he must love Jesus. Preference, he must be 6 feet. Difference. Okay? It's like, girl, you got to stop with all these unrealistic standards. You 37. If you got married right now, and if you got pregnant, you would be considered high risk already. So you better settle for whoever takes interest in you, because what you're viewing as godliness is unrealistic. Pastor, no women honor husbands no more, man. That was for like Esther and Ruth. Maybe Tanisha, she might honor you, but these wives, they a different breed out here today. They don't honor men anymore. They honor themselves. They don't do that anymore. That's old school. That's unrealistic. Nobody waits to get to the altar, especially if we have messed up already. Why would we get it right and we already did it? I mean, like the honeymoon, we already had the honey, so why are we gonna wait until we get to the altar? Nobody does that anymore, and I'm trying to convince a generation what you call and what one man calls unrealistic is another man's character. Did y'all hear what I just said? What you consider unrealistic is another man's character. Tanisha and our marriage is proof of that. The guy that she was with before me, there was some things that he labeled unrealistic. But what was unrealistic to him was Jerry's character. It's just that we need more teaching like this, more preaching like this, and to cause for people to have a fear of God once again, so that we have a relationship with him and we are pursuing faithfulness to God, not perfection. He's perfect. We're not perfect, but we are striving to be faithful to a perfect God. If he or she does not strive to be faithful to God, what makes you think they're going to be loyal to you? If the creator of the universe, the person who gives them oxygen, the person who gives them life, they don't even consider his decrees and his sayings and his principles, what makes you think the person that you're with is going to consider your feelings?
Here's why Audible is a great side hustle. Because thanks to this free app available on the App Store.
That is old school. And I was having this conversation the other day. Why don't people follow the principles of God? Why don't we pray? And I'm sure if we were to do a poll around the room, some people would say it's because the gospel has not penetrated our heart deep enough. And they don't have an intimate relationship with Jesus. That's why they don't pray. Okay, I hear you. They don't seek God because we're stiff-necked people, just like the word tells us. And I was like, what if it's not that deep? It's so simple. Holy Spirit put this in my heart. You know why people don't pray? Because they haven't seen enough of their prayers get answered. Coming in 2023, we're doing a series on prayer. Because I promise you, if you were to pray and see what you pray happen, if you were to pray and see a pattern of God answering your prayers, you couldn't convince me we will be people who don't pray. It's because I see when I prayed, God fixed it. I see when I prayed, God listened and heard my prayer. When you have a pattern of seeing what fasting and prayer and devotion and worship and seeking God actually does, you'll do it more. The problem is we're not seeing no results. Why would you do a workout regimen if you see no change in your body? And you've been doing it for like 6 months. You would question the regimen too. So I believe we don't know how to pray for certain things and what prayer to assign to certain seasons. This is a prayer of thanksgiving. This is a prayer of warfare. This is a prayer of petition. This is a prayer of supplication. It's not just God is great, God is good. My people don't know how to pray. And since they don't know how to pray, they're praying and nothing's happening. So they don't have prayer lives. But start to have a people who pray and see it work. When we have all night prayer, everybody will be in here. Why? Because I remember, girl, I prayed for this and God did that. And I remember I prayed for this and God did that. And so now when you see a resume of prayers being answered, even the times when they don't get answered, you know that I could trust him.